Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're reviewing a Ram 3500 limited dually with the Night Edition package. I mean, this thing is literally as loaded as it gets. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Dodge Ram here in Provo, Utah for giving me some time with this truck. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, this has the high output Cummins, which is a turbo diesel 6.7 liter inline six that goes through a 6-speed automatic known as the Aisin. This puts out 420 horsepower and then 1,075 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, since this has the Night Edition package, you guys can see all of the cool venting there on the hood. I think it looks fantastic. And then I like how the headlight bezel's been blacked out with this. And by the way, this paint color, this blue looks fantastic on the truck. The grille's all blacked out as well. You can see the recovery points, you got parking sensors and fog lights. And putting it all together, I think that the limited Night Edition is one of the coolest looking Rams on the market. Now around the side here, our turn wheel setup is 235/80/17 in the front and over in the rear. You can see how the wheels are all blacked out. Got the HD suspension with this solid front axle. And you got these nice body painted fender flares. And then notice the badges here are also blacked out. And then this one has the fixed side steps. And then we of course have the new style of trailer tow mirrors that Ram released, what, a year ago roughly. And then being a dually, you guys can see that you've got the specialized bed. So unlike Ford that just tacks on like a giant fender flare, this is actually like made to, like, as you can see, it's made to be one uniform piece. And then you got big old leaf springs in the back and of course the dual rear wheels. And then here is your full side view with the truck. You guys can see a crew cab and then it's got an 8-foot bed. And then taking a look at the key fob, we have our lock and unlock function. We got the tailgate drop down and then you guys can see with the remote start and then the limited logo. Now popping into the bed, first off, you guys can see protection here on the tailgate from the factory. And then we've got an outlet here. And then this has the whole setup from the factory. We'll show that on the window sticker. It's actually an option you can get with the truck. But yeah, I mean, this has pretty much everything with the bed. When you're all done, just plop that up. That's pretty straightforward. And then you guys can see all the badges here on the back also blacked out, including the taillight bezel right there. And then you can see here with the parking sensors at the bottom. Putting it all together, let me guys think about the looks, but I think especially in this dark blue, this truck just looks fantastic. Now taking a look at the door panel, really nice trim here. Look at the wood trim down below and then the embroidery. I think that looks really nice. And then all the storage here. And then taking a look at these seats perforated all down the center portion. You do have under seat storage as well as a little fold out tab. And then you have ice buckets with this as well. Legroom here in the back is pretty good. If you want more legroom, then you get the mega cab. Got a little storage pocket there with more embroidery. And then we of course have our little cup holder armrest. And if we move this stuff out of the way, fragile. We've got heated seats in the back, USBs, and then you got more of that nice wood trim. And then headroom, it's good. Now taking a look at the front door panel again, you can see here with the stitching and soft touch, and look at the embroidery and then the wood trim. All of our window controls, front two are automatic, mirror adjustments, the mirrors do power fold in, got memory seats, blind spot ring with the mirrors, and then also you can do the mirror extension function with this. And then payload on this truck is 4,857 pounds. And then you can see here with the seats perforated all down the center, got your power adjustments there. And then you got that for the cargo outlet. Light controls here, and then notice with the fog light and the cargo light, and then the pedal adjustments, and then like the little wood trim insert there. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, you can see soft touch all around, and then notice we've got that little wood trim insert there. And then we've got parental controls like adaptive cruise control, you got controls for center stack, gear limiter function, and then turn signal, windshield wiper stalk. And then I like how there's stitching here on the column shifter. Being unlimited, we've got Ram's big digital gauge cluster here in the center. Look at the nav view with that. I think that's great. And then notice you can switch between analog and digital here with the speedometer. I think it's a really sharp look overall. And then in reverse, we do have a 360 camera system here, so you can see trajectory lines turn with the steering wheel onto the rear view. You got that bird's eye view as well. And yeah, great resolution with the system. And I mean, it's definitely something that's needed for a truck that's this big. We do have dual zone climate, heated and ventilated seats, so you can control all of that here. We do have some analog controls for like the climate, radio as well. And then you got a shortcut bar here at the bottom of the infotainment system. I mean, overall responds pretty quickly with the screen. And then we do have the rear air suspension with this. You got diesel exhaust brake, tow haul mode, stability control, parking sensors, trailer steering, trailer brake controls as well. And then you guys can see for the lane departure. And then I like the trim here at the top, carbon carbon sound system. And then yeah, look at the dash, all soft touch across. And then we do have a 2-speed transfer case with this truck. And look at the center console, limited there at the top. Got little measuring charts, and this does slide backwards and forwards. Got wireless phone charging pad, got some little USB ports there as well. Full outlet down below. And then we got the double glove box, which, look at the wood trim on the outside of that. I think that's pretty sharp looking. And then we do have a camera rear view mirror, power sliding rear window. And then we got what I'll call a snow roof because it's covered in snow. So kind of quite a bit of glare, so it's hard to see the window sticker, but $81,720 is the MSRP. Patriot Blue is the color for those of you that are wondering. But there's quite a few packages. Night Edition, Level 1, 410 axle ratio, high output Cummins, dual rear wheels. I mean, yeah, and that's set up in the back section, not too bad. 1,075 pounds. Anyways, $115,175 is the MSRP on this Patriot Blue towing beast. Let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood. Both mirrors do a blind spot monitoring. So the rest of the rear. And, well, we're gonna have to reverse out. But let us set off in this behemoth of a truck. This is a really cool setup. I think the one thing that some people might want that this doesn't have is the mega cab. But you know, obviously with the mega cab, you do not have the ability to get an 8-foot box from the factory. You only have a 6'4" bed with that. And for some people, that just doesn't work with the dually. They need more space. And, you know, you can get those adapter hitches or whatever for the bed, so you don't like whack your trailer into the cab. But yeah, it does make it, I've been told by people, it does make it harder. So we're just gonna stick it in, or keep it in 2-wheel drive here. Roads are pretty clear, so we should be fine. I will say that is kind of annoying that like the tab pops up like that. I wish it was just a little thing that I click. I wish it didn't get so big. I don't know. I think that's kind of interesting. Not too bad. I just drove a Ford Limited before this, but it was a single rear wheel. So it's interesting to kind of see the difference. Cummins definitely performs way different compared to the high output Powerstroke. The high output Powerstroke is kind of a more modern feeling powertrain, whereas this a little bit more old school feeling. It's definitely different. Brakes aren't too weird. You know, HD trucks kind of have spongier brakes, not too bad. And this, even though it's big, it's not too difficult. I feel like the turning radius on this is better than the Ford, even though this is a dually. Yeah, the Aisin is such a weird transmission. When you're not towing, this transmission's just, it doesn't seem like it's happy. And that's a weird thing to say, but it just kind of seems that way. Yeah, super smooth. So I think they've done a good job with kind of the power delivery on this so far. Let's kind of get on it here a little bit. Yeah, this transmission doesn't like to, when you're not towing, yeah, it's just kind of funky. I didn't have a snow brush today, or I would have gotten the snow like there. I just reached as far as I could over the hood of the truck. Yeah, I mean, easy. It's easy enough to drive. It's pretty comfortable for a, you know, dually. It's not too bad. So, I mean, to cap things off here with the Limited Night Edition, this is an expensive truck. It's definitely a lot of money, but here's kind of my thoughts on how this truck is packaged out. I think it looks really cool. I think the Night Edition, I've said this before, I think the Night Edition is always the route to go because it just looks so cool. And then, you know, in terms of the interior on the Limited, really nice. For a lot of people buying this truck, it makes sense to go Limited because you're gonna, you know, kind of live in the truck. And so if you're gonna be living in a place, you know, you want something that's a little bit nicer, has, you know, a few more amenities, so to speak. It's kind of hard to see the curbs here because they are covered in snow, but I'm maneuvering. So yeah, it makes sense. If you're driving all day, every single day, because you're towing stuff, and I know a lot of people that do that with these trucks, then yeah, it makes sense to get the nicer one. And then on top of that, right, it's, you know, most people I know, they own the business, and so it's a tax write-off for them because it's over 6,000 pounds, and so you're looking at a $115,000 tax write-off. That can go a long way. So let me know what you guys think about this truck. But yeah, I mean, outside of like work purposes, I think that's where it becomes hard to justify. Like if someone was just casually towing, like, I don't know, they had a really big toy hauler or something that they needed this type of truck, it almost makes more sense to go more baseline rather than selling this loaded up like this. But regardless, let me know what you guys think about this Limited, you know, $115,000 Ram. The most, I mean, I guess the TRX is about the same price as this, so either this or the TRX are the most expensive Ram trucks you can buy.